When you get into a car, you expect the engine to run, the brakes to stop, and the seatbelts to work. But when you hail a ride, who's making sure those cars are safe? New at 6, KCTV5's Stephanie Kaiser reports.
As you can see, it's calling for me now.
For Robert Henderson, driving for Uber not only pays the bills, it's fun.
I love people and I love to drive.
And like thousands of other ride-hailing drivers, Henderson had to be cleared to drive.
It's pretty simple.
We looked into what regulations Uber and Lyft drivers and their cars go through before hitting the road. Let's start with Uber. Cars have to be 2002 model year or newer and have no cosmetic damage. Drivers visit one of 3 green light hubs that inspect the car before it's approved. We asked the company what they're specifically looking for, but Uber wouldn't tell us. They would only say that they comply with all current Kansas City regulations. Some drivers claim they're anything but strict, not at all similar to the state inspection.
Honestly, with the vehicle inspection, they didn't do, to be honest, they didn't do all of that. They did, maybe they should be doing that.
They just did a walk around and basically just a walk around.
Lyft cars can't be older than 2005, and a mechanic has to do a 19-point inspection, very similar to what most Missouri drivers do every year.
Is there anything that's different or stands out to you?
No, not really. I mean, they're asking to check out the same types of things.
We asked Tim Cooley of AMCO and Lee's Summit to look over Lyft's requirements.
So you would say a Lyft car is a safe car then?
I would think so.
But who's responsible for a wreck? And what if you're injured? Attorney Douglas Horn explains.
Uber drivers are their own entity. There's no corporate Uber entity standing behind them.
He stresses it's our responsibility to make sure we're getting in a safe car with a safe driver.
As a Uber rider, you want to make sure that you always ask who the ride is for, and you also want to take a look or take a quick snapshot of the back of the car.
As for the drivers, both Uber and Lyft say they do background checks, but a civil lawsuit claims an Uber driver with a criminal record attacked a woman in the car. Court documents say Yakanan Amani was an approved driver who had spent time in prison for attempted murder and was accused of assaulting a St. Louis woman last year. Uber says, quote, "What's reported in the complaint is deeply troubling and something we take extremely seriously. We are reviewing the litigation." Uber driver Henderson says he always makes sure his passengers know he's legit and they feel safe.
I had to actually create a sign that says, you know, who I am so that I could be identified.
Now, there are always ways to alert your friends and family when you are riding with a ride-hailing service. There are also apps like Watch Over Me that will alert someone if you ever veer off track. For KCTV5, I'm Stephanie Kaiser.